ICE is out of control, drunk on power, going around intentionally escalating violent interactions and intimidating U.S. citizens. Yeah, you're right, Dave. ICE should just stand back and let these protesters bite their literal fingers off. Hi, my name is Margaret Mordahl. Welcome to my channel, Virtue Lies in the Middle, where we discuss current topics and try to remain as balanced as possible. So, Daily Wire commentator Matt Walsh and podcaster Dave Smith got into it on Twitter about ICE and illegal immigration. And I think their differing viewpoints are where a lot of conservatives are right now. So let's dig in. Dave Smith posted this tweet. I'm an immigration restrictionist. I believe that we should have the right to remove any and all people who entered our country illegally. Also, ICE is out of control. A bunch of pussies drunk on power going around intentionally escalating violent interactions and intimidating U.S. citizens. They create these tragic situations, and after this gigantic show of force, they won't deport a fraction of the illegals who entered under Biden. This is simply not worth it. And Matt Walsh responded, this is retarded. ICE agents are simply enforcing the laws of the land. They aren't even rounding up normal illegal aliens. They're almost exclusively targeting violent criminals, gangsters, and sex offenders. Leftists are out in the street breaking about 10 different laws in an attempt to interfere with law enforcement, all in the name of defending violent criminal aliens who shouldn't be in this country in the first place. And you put the blame on ICE? They're the ones who are out of control? Insane. Total nonsense. Embarrassing. And I have to admit, I agree with Matt here. At first, I thought the same way as Dave did and was irritated that ICE seems to be escalating these arrests unnecessarily. However, when I thought about it, I realized ICE is just going about their jobs, business as usual, and the ones who are escalating things are these protesters who are literally interfering with officers of the law who are doing, mind you, the same thing that they have been doing for years. I understand that these leftists think that these officers have been magically turned into the Gestapo since Trump's presidency and that they're doing the right thing by protecting illegal immigrants, but this kind of nonsense just cannot be allowed to happen. We can't let people interfere with the law just because they think it's the right thing to do. And people also need to understand that interfering with the law is an extremely serious, not to mention dangerous business. However, some people will point to certain videos the Department of Homeland Security put out and say that these videos, as well as Trump running for presidency on the promise of mass deportations, started the escalation in the first place. Here's one of the videos put out with captions explaining it.
I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. Understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend. In a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Our hearts so true. Our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon.
And while they might be right about these things turning up the heat, apparently they led to 1.9 million people self-deporting, which is surely the most peaceful way to deport that there is. Anyway, back to the X battle between Matt and Dave. So Dave makes a quip about the Israeli wire and tells Matt to come on his podcast to talk about it. Matt then says, you're always making everything about Israel, and I noticed you didn't actually respond to my claims. Then Dave says, yeah, I invited you to have a conversation about it. Let's go. And you gotta just love what Matt says. I have to read you the whole thing because it is just perfect. Not everything has to be a damn podcast, Dave. We are having a conversation right now. There is nothing stopping you from articulating your point of view and explaining why you're siding with the open borders communists who are out in the street every day trying to sabotage the enforcement of our immigration laws. You could just write your position instead of writing excuses for why you won't write your position. And I just think it's great. Like, yeah, we're doing this right now. Why do we have to have this conversation later? We can have it right now. And Dave goes, I guess Ben said no. Oh yeah, I'm making excuses, Matt. And he still does not articulate his argument at all. And you know, this is kind of what happened in that Joe Rogan debate between him and Douglas Murray. Everybody was super mad at Douglas Murray for saying, leave talking about these things to people who know what they're talking about. But this is just what Dave Smith does. He makes some strong declarative statement about something, and then he won't back it up. He just wants to kind of banter around and make stupid jokes. So, yeah, you want immigration, Dave, but you don't want it this way. So how exactly do you want it? That's all I have for you today. I'll see you in the next video.